how long do you think this thing's gonna? You think this thing's gonna draw out to about 8:40 or maybe
No,
before
it won't
that?
even be 15 minutes is all it took last night.
Or would you like a guess?
Absolutely.
You probably join me.
All right. Well, I mean, we're already live, so actually pulling it up right now. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is G3 All-Star Qualifying Night number 2. In the booth with me now, we have Miss Soaps. Unexpected guest showed up the moment I went live.
Yeah, hello, hello. Sorry, I thought wasn't gonna make it, but I actually have some time right here to hop in the booth. I had a fun time last night calling the 1v1s. Very exciting format that you got going on here. And so, explain a little bit to me tonight what's going to be going on.
All right, so we had one of these races last night. Two drivers, Kendricks and drawing a blank. Let me look it up so I am not lying to anybody. Kendricks advanced and somebody else advanced. So what we're doing here, it's just a quick little 7% race. It's 28 laps. There's no fuel mileage. There was last night because I messed up and put it on 2 tons wear. But so they got 28 laps right now. There's only 8 drivers so far for tonight. It's a small field, but this is a night that we don't normally race. Anyway, so these guys are all going to dish out what they got, and the top 2 finishers will advance to next Monday's All-Star event. We had 16 regular drivers. We're going to make a total field of 24 drivers come next Monday. And just so everybody knows, because I don't know if it got announced yesterday, actually, so the way the All-Star event on Monday is going to work out, we're going to start the first night out, all 24 drivers, at Charlotte. We're going to go ahead and race that race. It's going to be same thing, a little 7% race. And at the end of that race, the top 15 finishers will advance on to the next track, which will be Iowa. Iowa will then race, same thing, another 7% race, and we will be down to top 10 drivers. Those 10 drivers will be inverted and go to Texas with their starting lineup. And at Texas, it's the same thing, 7% race, winner take all for the All-Star event here at the G3 Racing League.
Yeah, we're really, really deep type of all-star. It's very exciting as well. Looks like it's a nice way to really expand your off season. You have a couple of weeks of your off season, and then you're going to hop into the next season with experience instructional at the same time. So this is a nice way to really pass this time. I think we've drawn it up nice, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. Just make sure I get an invite.
Yeah, I just sent you one. The invite, the timer is actually started. You still have like 43 seconds. Giving them a quick rundown of the field just because there's only 8 guys in here tonight. We got Monster Racing starting on the pole. He was one of the top 2 drivers last night before he realized that he had to pit. The other driver down there, B291, and also one of the drivers didn't think they had to pit because I just messed up the lobby. So look for those 2 to be front runners. Again, they were dominating the race last night, but almost a whole straightaway working together. Plum Diddy and Scarab, those guys are buddies. In the 11 and 14, Ty Racing, Xfinity driver for next season. Kleinboy, Spectra, Warpig. Those guys are all pretty good. Warpig also going to be an Xfinity driver. Kleinboy and I think he finished just outside the top 20 last season. And Spectra is completely new to the league. So we've got a lot of variety here. Some guys that have already advanced, and you can go ahead and join the race if you would like. Miss Hopes.
All right, thank you. And I've raced with a lot of these guys.
Hold on. I'm blue screen, so it won't hear you. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've raced with a lot of these guys before. It's really cool to see a lot of familiar faces over here. Like you said, guys like Warpig, guys like Ty Racing. Those are the type of guys that you're not gonna see the flashy one race, top 3, top 5 every week type of pace from them. But those are the type of guys that are going to advance, like you said, to the series above, just based off their consistency. Very consistent drivers. It'll be interesting to see what they can do versus guys like B29 and Monster who can really show out with the week-to-week speed.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Monster Racing, he's been with my league as long as I've had one. However, last season he didn't realize that we had the league back. So he didn't join last season, but he's back ready to go this time full season. So I expect him to be one of those guys that advance. With all that said, here we are underway. Qualifying night number 2, Monster Racing Plum Diddy leading the field as they go into turns 1 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Take it away, Miss Hopes.
Yeah, just to clarify, the top 2 here will advance. It looks like we might have a little bit of lag from the 11. Not sure if that was the lobby or the 11 itself, but the 12 gonna have to block 3 lanes. Oh, 77 gonna get the 11 hard. 11 is immediately falling back.
Oh, 11 gets again by the 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's just lagging or what, but the 77 hard contact with the 11. He was able to qualify second, so we'll see if he can come back up from the field. We got Scara right here in the 14, right on the outside of the 77. The 77 not playing new games. Either that or he's got a huge lag button on that car. The 12 Monster, he's got to be enjoying this view, right?
Yeah, 100%. He's got, what, easily a 6-7 car length lead over the 77. 77, I think he's got a point to prove. Like I said last night, he was one of the drivers that was up front. We all expected him to win. Of course, us at the broadcast booth, we thought this was on 1 times wear. It ended up being on 2 times wear. So even the drivers weren't realizing it until their gas light came on. And so the 2 guys that did advance were the 2 guys that were able to save the fuel. But B29, after he and Monster were just dominating that race last night, they have a point to prove. And Scara back here last night was his first time ever racing with the G3 Racing League. And he was running right there in the second pack. That was run 2, 3, or positions 3, 4, and 5. But they were kind of getting racy, so now he's got a feel for some of these guys, and I'm looking for him to make his way possibly into the show for next Monday night. And I do want to be clear, guys, we did do the 1v1 for qualifying last night. That was setting the top 16 in order. This race, anybody that qualifies through the qualifier will start 17th on back, so they will still have work to do in order to make it through that first round of the All-Star event come next Monday. But yeah, these guys, they're putting on a show right now. Monster walking off, but this other second pack right here has got 5 cars, and they're fighting hard.
Yeah, they've got to, in my opinion, they've got to figure it out soon. You saw the 14 make an aggressive move to the inside. They got the side draft on the 77, but here the 77 wants to lead this pack. He thinks he's about the car, but obviously he's going to give him that side draft back, and all they're doing is just setting the 12 cars and putting the full away. If they stayed in that 5 car from the side, that's what they're catching. But right now, just the 3 wide, racing hard, and the 77 back to the point.
Yeah, it's really tricky, guys. I'm keeping with this battle on the screen. I'll show you the 12. I'll show you the gap, the distance. We'll go with Boom Vision as we look backwards here. He's got a really big lead. Why am I not watching the 12 even though he's up here winning the race? Well, it's really pretty simple, because if he advances, that means this race right here for second, there's 5 cars under a blanket, but only one of those 5 will be in a qualifying spot. I agree with you, Ms. Oaks. If these guys could line up and go up there and catch that 12, it's a 6-car pack battling for 2 spots instead of 5 cars battling for 1. And we're seeing B29 actually now starting to get away from that pack a little bit. You definitely need to single up and make sure you can at least stay with the 77, because otherwise you're battling for nothing. You'd be one of the first people eliminated.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Warpig here, just third in line. He's the guy to the point now with Star right behind. I think if the 14, he showed some really good pace there in this few opening laps, missing the bottom there against Star very up the track. Warpig is one of those guys who's just a grinder, man. Every single lap, it seems like he's going to improve on his lap time, essentially. And he's one of the toughest cars to pass.
100%.
That's not a negative comment either. That's a part of his racecraft. That's who he is. He's very, very hard to pass. And you can see him so he can all the way back up that 77 with this pass of Star and Ty Racing. All these guys got to do is just line up, give each other some give and take, and go catch that 12 car.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to give out a shout out to the YouTube, the comments section. We got Dirt Dog, of course, he's blowing up the chat. Of course, you're welcome. I love doing this for you guys and the viewers. How many laps? There's 28, same as last night's event. Cass Murray out there cheering for Monster. Well, Cass, Monster's putting up a very good showing right now, so we're expecting him to go ahead and advance. Thanks for tuning in. And we have Brinkerhoff out there, said yo, but also Brinkerhoff's in this chat. He is on his phone through the app, so I don't know if you guys will be able to hear him when he talks. Also, I never got him an invite into the race, so he's going to be watching through the YouTube just like you viewers at home. You got a copy, Brink?
Sure. Yeah, Brink, can you hear us?
Alright, technical difficulties with Brinkerhoff. We'll send it back down. Oh, he's trying to unmute. Alright, well, in the meantime, I'm going to send it back down to you, Ms. Opes. What are you seeing out of this group of, maybe not even the 5, maybe some of these other guys that was newer. The 17 is Spectre, he's running all by himself, but he's putting in decent laps. He's still in the view of that race to 5, but what do you think about some of these guys that maybe you don't know so well? Maybe give a shout out to any one of the drivers you don't know.
Yeah, just like you said, Spectre mentioned here. It seems like he might be off the pace here. This car seems really really loose on the exit, so it might have been some new drivers might not be used to these cars. Another guy that we saw qualified second, but just still after the contact in the 77 in the opening lap, the 11 car of Plum Diddy, he was just unable to really get anything going after that. He's lost the draft of those 5 cars. It's all battling for that second spot, and doesn't seem like he's going to catch him.
Oh,
And
62-10. They made some contact. 62 got up in the wall. Sorry, back down to you.
no, yeah, I was watching that as well from the 11 stream. The 62, he's been on the tail end of some really bad blocks so far this race. I'm not really sure how many laps we have left. I'm assuming a decent bit for some more racing to unfold, but the 77 here still seems like the fastest car out of this group, but I think everybody in this pack has accepted that they're not going to race for 2 spots. They're going to race for 1 spot this race. And so far, the 77 definitely seems like the most aggressive guy, and he's leading this pack. So we're going to see what happens for sure with these guys. I'm not sure exactly how rough it'll get, but definitely think the fenders will be used.
Yeah, I think a couple things go to what you were saying. Plum Diddy, that 11 car, he had the struggle. He was second. There was no actual qualifying to this, ladies and gentlemen. It's just with these all-star events, it's whoever gets into the lobby first. So thank you to your internet if you're one of the first people to get in. But the 11 car at Plum Diddy, one thing that he's enjoying, we were talking earlier about how if these guys would single up, they could probably go catch the 12. And that may still be the chance. I don't know the lap count remaining. But the 11 car, he wants to see them stay racing. That's why he's still in the view when you're following this pack. And if they stay up just a little bit more, he's maybe half a second for being able to get sniff some draft from these guys. And back to the B29 comment, right now, in most of the race, it's been Warpig, but right now that 10 car of Ty Racing is B29's best friend. Those 3 guys behind him, they have to get by the 10 in order to go out the 77. So he wants to see them keep battling as the 10 makes a move now to the inside of B29. But B29 just has to defend one person as long as he's leading the pack. It's the 10 that's got to block the 3 people as they're 3 wide in the middle of 4.
Yeah, the 10 car just hits the apron, drives in a little bit too deep. He's racing hard for this spot. He wants it too, just like anybody else. Ty has been around a lot of leagues for a long time, and he's just, whenever the win seems like it's there, it's just evaded him. And he's definitely a driver that can win under the right circumstances, and I'd love to see him be able to compete in this All-Star event. See he's get a good push on the 62 on the outside. Warpig going to kind of shift him high a little bit. But, oh, the 14! Hits the apron, spins by himself. I'm not sure if the 11 made contact with him before the 17 gets the 14 car. That's going to end his night.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I was just about to talk to him about him actually. B29's newer to G3, but then Warpig, Ty Racing, Kleinboy, these guys have been around for years. Everybody knows their name. Again, B29's new, but he's come on strong here, and people in the G3, they recognize him. But that Scarab guy that was running in that pack this whole entire time, brand new. Last night was his first ever time on the track with this league. So you hate to see that happen. He was running really good, but everybody knows that the epic thing, you go too far down on that apron, and it will do exactly what it just did. As B29 here is walking away while Ty Racing and Warpig stay side by side.
Yeah, the 14 totally spun himself out. He was running too deep at the apron on the end. That rounded.
Yeah, hold on, that was Brink out there. If anybody out there could hear Brink, let me know. I've never gotten it to work where somebody talking through the app is heard over the broadcast. So if you guys were able to hear Brink right there, please let me know so we know in the future. I'm going to send it back over to you, Ms. Oates, as you were trying to say something.
Yeah, just a driver error from the 14. Those things happen, and these 3 cars behind the 77, they have to line up right now. I know the laps are winding down. Like I said, we're not sure the exact lap count because Nascar E5 doesn't give you that option. But the laps have got to be winding down. They have to line up and get past the 77. And let's talk about Monster here for a second. And one of the biggest things that I'm thinking about right now is what if that 12 car won last night and was a part of the 1v1 tournament? How far would he have gone? Because right now he is showing some strong pace. I mean, the 77 has had clean air just as much as the 12 cars have for most of this race, and he hasn't been able to gain on it. So Monster obviously has something figured out about this track. He's always been good at Charlotte and the old Jenner cars. But I didn't know he could drive like this in the next year. That's my biggest thing. What if he's I think he would have at least made it to the semifinals.
Well, so I'm going to throw in real quick, the guys that won last night were ineligible for that tournament. The only people that did the 1v1 tournament were the So throughout the whole season long, we have heat races here at G3 that start your race instead of the single car qualifying or group qualifying like most leagues do. We actually do heat racing based on points, and winning a heat race is how you actually qualify to be in the All-Star event. Only drivers that qualified throughout the regular season to be in the All-Star event partook in the events last night of the 1v1. These are just a last chance qualifier that we try to do for new drivers and let everybody kind of have something to do. Like you were saying, in our 2-week off season, you really don't want drivers to just be bland and not have anything to do. You want to keep them active, and this is just kind of what we throw at them for a week. We have this event all week long, and then Monday we have the actual All-Star event, of course, and then we finally take a week off as everybody prepares for the opening of their season, whether it be trucks or Xfinity.
Yeah, just a very interesting format that you have going on. And, you know, like we talked about earlier, and just now, the way that happens, keep guys in the league and also get new guys. You got the Sarah, and I believe the 17, and it's the All-Star. You know, how about that? How about you're racing for a spot in the All-Star race, and I think that's a very cool way to keep guys involved and keep them involved throughout the rest of the offseason. Maybe they should see the cars, they don't fit a lot of people. And we see now, these three guys, Monster's got this thing wrapped up. He's clearly going to win the race. No idea how many laps left. They've got to be winding down now. And they're side by side. That final position is Klein Boy and B29 Monty. Klein's got the advantage on the inside on the turn 3. He's going to hit the apron some. He's going to get into the 77. This could be the last lap. That was a very aggressive move, aggressive up the track.
Yeah, Warpig's diving down on the bottom. Can Warpig get there? I can't tell. Looks like they're still under speed. They're still under power. They're still under power. So we've got to be under 3 to go. If it were my guess, I'm saying we're under 3 to go. Each lap we're going to commentate basically as it's the last one. We're seeing this is definitely picked up. Kleinboy here walking away, and he is the one driver that came to me and he said, I am going to do everything I can this whole week. I am going to make that All-Star event next Monday. So lots of hopes and pride here in that 62 machine as he's leading and in one of those, not leading, Monster's leading, but he is in one of those qualifying positions right now.
Yeah, he's in the spot to advance. Warpig behind him, Ty there, and B29 has dropped from second all the way back to what is fifth. So he's going to have to make some positions here. He's got to do something quick. Ty into the wall there a little bit. Warpig, we see him closing on the 62. He's going to go to the bottom. Ty's going to look low to the 55. He's not going to push the 62 through the corner there. He's going to really check up the pin. 62 is going to take the top. Doesn't want to give him any draft. A smart move. In my opinion, this has got to be close to the white flag here.
Yeah, if it's me, if I'm the 10, right, and this is just me personally, to each their own. If I was the 10, I don't think I'd put so much pressure on the 55 right now. I'd let the 55 make the move on the 62 and try to take both of them at once, because as we're seeing, as he keeps racing the 55 or keeps getting into the back end of that 55, all it's doing is slowing both cars down and giving that 62 a little bit of a gap to be able to stay in front of these guys.
I was going to say the same thing.
Brink said, in case you didn't hear that, Brink said he would do the same thing. But the 10's keeping the pressure on there. He goes under the 55 now. Now, don't get me wrong. If the 10 can get separation, that's great. It's a great move to go ahead and get ahead of the 55. But he didn't. Look, 55 making a move right back right now. All this is doing is, again, slowing them all down. And that's including the 77 of B29, who's just a bystander at this point.
Yeah, Ty really high up off of turn 4 there. Got really close to the wall. We're going to see how many laps.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that was it. And Kleinboy and Monster are going to be advancing to the All-Star event. Congratulations to Monster. What a drive in the 12 car.
Let's go get over back on that 12 car. I do want to apologize, Monster. I wasn't trying to leave you out and not be part of the conversation most of this time or get much screen time. But you were pretty well dominant, and we were trying to keep track on the race for advancement. So great job to Monster. Great job to Kleinboy, as these guys now will both be part of the All-Star event next Monday. And so I want to be clear, we had some drivers last night that didn't make it tonight, but they'll be back tomorrow. Brinkoff, one of those guys that didn't get to race tonight. I don't know if he'll make tomorrow night, but he'll be back soon. Then we're going to have I know Batman was here racing last night, couldn't make it tonight. We had a list of like 8 drivers that couldn't make it tonight that were here last night. So expect a bigger field. Cass Murray said she had a hard time with your mic on the communication there, Miss Opes. And then let's see, Cass, thanks for tuning in. Tom Horton, thanks for tuning in. Brink City won't be here till Friday, but still, we're gonna have a bigger field as the night progresses. So, or as the week progresses, and this is also our recruiting week. So expect new names that we've never seen throughout the remainder of this week. This is when, as a league, we actively search for new drivers. So just keep tuning in, and it should keep getting better and better every night.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was really, really fun to be able to call another race here, and I'm going to go ahead and hop out of here. I've got a league race to do myself tonight, and just again, appreciate you having me here. And we're going to just before we log off here, I think something that needs to be said is the 3 guys that you should be looking at tomorrow night. I would assume they're going to show up again and walk those all-star spots. The 77, and also probably the 14. I think all 3 of those cars have really good shots at being able to advance tomorrow.
Man, I got to agree with you. I thought you were going to say the 55, a War Pig, the top 3 guys that missed out right there. But definitely that 14, he's been competitive both nights now. Been in a position. Tonight he caught the apron and spun out, but other than that, he's been in a position. War Pig's been running good. B29, man, 2 nights in a row. He dominated last night. Then he sat in second most of the night tonight. So B29's had an impressive showing both nights. And then Ty Racing, I mean, he has had the fastest lap in both races, both last night's race and this race, but he still has yet to qualify in, so there's something to be said about that. So I think all 4 of those drivers have a good shot. Plum Diddy has been the first car that lost the draft pack in every race so far in the qualifier, so expect him to rebound. And again, more drivers to come tomorrow night. But thank you, Miss Opes, for joining me in the broadcast. Thank you to the viewers at home. Brinkerhoff, thanks for trying to join us in the broadcast, even though you ended up as an alien. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our broadcast here at Charlotte in our qualifier night number 2. Tune in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern as we get after it for qualifier night number 3.